Hi, my name is Dorothy, and I'm going to walk you through the family survey reports. First, let's look at how you access the reports from our website, www.nationalcoreindicators.org. This is our homepage. You come right up here to Resources. You go down to Reports. And you're brought to this page. Under Family Survey Final Reports, you'll find all three reports. There are three NCI family surveys. The Adult Family Survey is completed by respondents who have an adult with intellectual or developmental disabilities living in their home. The Family Guardian Survey is completed by respondents who have an adult family member with IDD who lives outside their family home. The Family Guardian Survey is also taken by adults who serve as a guardian for an adult with IDD who lives outside the family home. The Child and Family Survey is taken by adults who have a child who lives in the family home. These surveys are typically completed by a family member, such as a parent, grandparent, or sibling. In rare cases, they are completed by a guardian or staff member. Family outcomes have been documented to be a critical component in the measurement of quality. The NCI family surveys aim to gauge family service and support satisfaction and to identify areas for quality improvement. Each year, NCI staff compile the results of these three surveys and produce reports for each survey. Each report presents the results for each state and the NCI average results for each question in the survey. Statistical analysis is also done for each question to see whether each state's results are significantly above the NCI average, significantly below the NCI average, or within the average range. The format of the reports has changed recently. All three reports are formatted in similar ways. The report now starts with an executive summary and goes right on to look at the outcome results. The report continues by looking at NCI history and activities, survey development, followed by methodology. We're going to continue by looking at how to read the results, but I wanted to point out that under the results section, at the very beginning of the section, there is a subheading titled Presentation of Data. And if you have any questions on how to understand what you're seeing in the charts or graphs, or any questions about significance, you should come look at this section because it gives a good synopsis of how to read the data. It's important to note that throughout the survey, respondent refers to the person, usually a parent or guardian, who filled out the survey. When you see family member, it refers to the person who is receiving services, who the respondent is answering questions about. The report begins with the demographics section. The results regarding the family member receiving services come first, followed by the results about the demographics of the survey respondents. For the demographic information, the results are listed by state in alphabetical order. Results are presented in whole number percentages with the sample size from each state presented in the column marked N. Following the demographic results, the remainder of the results are presented in subsections that correspond with the sections of the family surveys. These sections are information and planning, access and delivery of services and supports, choice and control, community connections, satisfaction with services and supports, and outcomes. Each section begins with the name of the section, what is being measured in that section, and a brief summary of some of the results. If you see NA in any table next to a state, it means that there were too few cases to report. Results for each question are first shown in a chart with the NCI average for responses of always, usually, sometimes, seldom, and never. Then, the results are presented in a table that shows a breakout of each state's percentage, followed by the NCI average. The NCI average is the average of all individual state percentages. The percentages for responses of always, usually, sometimes, seldom, and never are all presented. but states are organized in descending order based on their percentage of always responses. Also, based on their percentage of always responses, states are placed into one of three categories: significantly above the NCI average, within the NCI average range, and significantly below the NCI average. For those states that fall within the NCI average range, it means that their percentage of always responses was not statistically different from the NCI average. It's important to note that some questions in the family surveys have 5 response options: always, usually, sometimes, seldom, and never. And some questions have 2 response options: yes or no. For the questions with the 5 response options, the table looks a lot like this. You have an always, usually, sometimes, seldom, and never columns. You have a column with the sample size, and the states are listed in descending order based on the percentage of always responses. For the questions with 2 response options, the table looks a lot like this. You have a column with the percentage of yes responses, the percentage of no responses, and the sample size. And the states are listed in descending order based on the percentage of yes responses. Finally, there are some questions for which the yes response is the less desired response. These questions are specified with a footnote right here. This question: have the services or supports that your child and family received during the past year been reduced, suspended, or terminated? The no response is the more desired response. It is important to remember this when looking at these results. Following the results section, the report presents NCI history and activities, which includes an overview of NCI, state participation, a description of the core indicators, and a guide on how to use the data. The methodology section looks at sampling and administration. More specifically, it looks at sampling procedure, survey administration, and data entry and analysis. Next, the methodology section looks at response rates for each state. Take a look at the family survey reports. They provide family support and family quality of life data that form a critical component to any examination of service quality. I also recommend taking a look at the Family Survey user-friendly reports. These reports were designed by self-advocates and other stakeholders. They show a selection of the data and display the data in a more accessible and clear way. Also, check out the Family Survey state reports. Each state gets a report that only demonstrates their data in comparison with the NCI average. Again, thanks for watching.